If you're someone who's trying to show up on social media as the authentic version of yourself, if you're wanting to bring more of your personal self to your socials or to your business in general, maybe even in person, your moon is the most vulnerable part of you and therefore can have a lot of impact. Your moon is not only your emotional desire and it's not only your inner child, it's the thing you craved most. And so therefore it's the gift you can give to the world.
What if I told you that your unique visibility can be found within your astrology chart? I'm on the podcast today with Isabelle Robledo, and she is an astrologer based in Bend, Oregon. We actually met randomly on Instagram. I just thought she was like some astrology influencer. So Isabelle teaches people how to use astrology as a tool for self-growth, healing, and manifestation. By blending spiritual insight with practical guidance, Isabelle helps find clarity, self-trust, and navigate life with more confidence. Through social media and one-on-one readings, Isabelle has helped thousands of people gain a deeper understanding of themselves and their path. I have had the honor of working with Isabelle. She is actually one of the birthday readings I did this year, 2026, where I felt so seen, felt like the information was so rooted and so grounded. And the questions that were asked helped me open up and navigate where I wanted to go and what I wanted to start to commit to. So today on the podcast, we are talking about your visibility placements where you can go and find them in your own charts and the effects of the nodal return. We have just entered as of today, and this is July 28th now. On July 26th, the nodes just shifted to Aquarius and Leo. And so she talks about the effects of that change in the podcast, which I'm so excited to share with you. I'm Sasha Pearl, your host, the Energy Architect, and I guide soul-led women in building authentic six-figure brands online by aligning your identity, your brand, and your content using my highly potent method. So let's get into this episode today. Today on the podcast, we have Isabelle Robledo. She is a professional astrologer and she is located in Bend, Oregon. She is also a 6'2" projector with emotional authority. So, Isabelle, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first off, I want to say I'm really impressed that you remember that I'm a 6'2" emotional projector because that conversation was so long ago. That's amazing.
Well, okay, you gave me your birth details.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I was like, oh man, I'm really impressed right now. That's bold. Yeah. So I'm a professional astrologer slash personologist. I've been teaching and studying astrology since I was 14. Funny enough, I studied and discovered astrology in my first job at 14. I was working a coffee shop and I was obsessed with personality types in psychology, like the Myers-Briggs and the Enneagram. And my friend told me to look into my birth chart, who I was working with. He was saying, you would love astrology. And funny enough, I pulled my chart later that day and thought it did not resonate at all, whatsoever, which I think is a lot of our first experience with pulling our chart. And a couple of years later, I was living in Montana and decided to deepen my study and start sharing what I learned. One thing honestly just led to another as I was teaching on YouTube already. I was already a digital entrepreneur teaching kids mindfulness. So I figured I would just share what I'm learning too. And the channel slowly started gaining steam from there, and people are asking me to read their chart for them. And here I am now, years later.
Yeah. So Isabelle, you literally came across my feed on Instagram and I had no idea you were even in Bend, Oregon. And I reached out because it was my birthday month and I was looking for, some people to be, or like readings for just reflection of like the year to come. And you came across my feed and you had a crazy discount. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to book a call. And then you're like, hey, I'm actually in Bend too. And I was like, what? That is crazy. So I got the opportunity to meet with Isabelle in person in Bend. And so that was just such a little treat,
Mhm. Oh, for sure. I agree with that because I feel like there's a power too in like personal readings, one-on-one in person, even more so than digital Zoom. And it was so nice to share energy and actually just connect with someone local in the area after just moving here too. So
I
great.
was like, it's meant to be. It's meant to be.
You could say the stars aligned.
The stars literally aligned for us. Well, because I was like, you're so massive. I can't believe your following is so massive. I was like, oh my God, you're like a Bend famous person.
Just trying my best. That new
Yeah.
bend.
Love it. Well, I would love to hear a little bit more about your story, becoming, an I know you've been doing this for a couple years now.
I've been running this channel since 2020, so 6 years.
Okay, of 2020. What a great year to start and kick that off.
Yeah, for sure. It was, like the age of everyone becoming digital for sure. But also, it was honestly a really great time to start it because I had so much support because the world is needing more digital stuff.
That is very true. I wish I would have launched all of my digital courses. Not that I have any launched right now, but during that time because it just popped off. But I would love to hear, your journey with becoming. Well, I want to talk about visibility today on the podcast and like the transformations that we have to go through the lens of astrology. So if you want to start us off with where you think if people are trying to be more visible in the world, like the yapping content is going viral these days, everyone's like, how there's so much opportunity on social media and in creating content, but so many people are so deathly afraid of just showing up and showing their faces and being visible in the world. So I'm curious, where in the charts can we be looking to really start optimizing and really aligning with how we show up in the world?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there's really two major aspects of this that I would love to delve into because in astrology in general, when we're talking about its influence on us, we have two major facets. We have our natal chart, also known as our birth chart, which you can think of as our personality stamped on us when we were born. And then we also have the transits, which are how are the current things going on influencing us and influencing our natural tendency. So it's like our wiring versus our environment a little bit. And so to start on the bit of more of the environment, because I feel like it's a simpler starting point than getting into the complexities of the birth chart. Whenever we're talking about visibility, especially the idea of being seen, and this is actually funny enough, a very popular topic recently with my clients over the past year,
I'm telling
including
you.
we've talked about it a bit too, is we're talking Leo energy. And in the modern day world, I find the Leo archetype so fascinating because we think of Leo and we think of like life at the party, dancing on tables, center of attention, look at me, super charismatic. When funny enough, though we may stereotype that, I think the world actually has a very damaged relationship with the Leo archetype. And
Oh.
and to understand why, I kind of have to break down a bit of the foundation of Leo. I mean, Leo is the archetype of both the leader and the child. It's one of our three fire signs, and all fire signs are driven by passion and desire. So if we think of the nature of fire, it's wild, it's untamed, it's joyous, it's warm. And so that quality presents itself with Leo. But the way Leo inherently embraces passion and desire is embracing the nature of the child. So we think of toddlers who love to play and be lighthearted and run with their bare feet in the grass. That is the energy of Leo. But in the modern day world, we feel, and what I've seen, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this, but we almost have masquerading play, where it feels like play must be professional or play must be filtered. And this inherently takes us away from the nature of Leo energy. Leo is, again, meant to be an untamed fire. We don't control fire. We can fuel it or we can diminish it, but we can't say, I want this flame to go that direction and this one that direction.
We may try. We may try.
We may try, but naturally, fire wants to be this uncontrollable force. And additionally, adding to that, the better way I would describe it as well is in astrology lingo, every zodiac sign is ruled by a planet, which means they have basically like a parent influencing how their behaviors are. And Leo's ruled by the sun. We don't ask the sun to diminish itself. We can't force it to. The clouds can get in the way, but the sun just focuses on its radiance. And so when it comes to the idea of being visible and being seen, Leo is stereotyped as this archetype ruled by the sun who wants to be seen, wants to be center stage, is the center of attention, when more often than not, we're told that in order to be seen, we have to adjust our light in some way. We have to adjust our radiance in some way rather than just allowing it to come from our natural, authentic, playful, childlike, vulnerable self.
Mm. Whoa. Yeah. I mean, everyone is interacting with some sort of mask. Absolutely, right? Whether that's from like a trauma or from safety or, oh, I have to be a certain way to like impress, whatever group that you are in. So how does one activate more of the authenticity versus like the layers of mask that they are wearing?
Great question. So, one thing I want to add to this as well is
Okay.
part of the idea of being visible, and I think this ties into your question, is the reason I bring up the Leo archetype as well is not only because we all have the capacity to embrace Leo. Speaking in terms of birth chart, we all have Leo energy within us. But
Mhm.
also currently, as of end of June of this year, we have a very major transit going on currently in Leo. It's specifically Jupiter is in Leo. And it's a 1 year transit that's encouraging us all to delve into this topic more than the last 12 years. That Jupiter hasn't been in Leo in the last 12 years. So
Wow.
the fact that you're noticing this is definitely synchronistic and aligned. And with that, as far as getting to the true authentic self, I think part of that comes back to understanding your natal chart as a whole and what it means for you to be authentic. Because let's say in the realm of, I think what you're kind of describing is social media presence, having the courage to be visible on social media for content and bringing your innate value for who you are to your business. A lot of
Mhm.
that has to do with
Yes.
overcoming the stereotypes of what we're supposed to be on social media. I think this has a lot to do with the idea that because anyone can be popular now, it's been a bit of a competition on who can be louder. And
Mhm.
that's actually a very negative Leo quality. Leos are known for being egocentric at times. And so sometimes we feel like we have to be this loud, flamboyant version of ourselves. But really, what our natal chart talks about, though Leo is inviting us to delve deeper into qualities of passion, play, and authenticity, a lot of it does come back to looking at our birth chart and saying, what does it mean to be authentic to me? And the simplest way I'd honestly say that, if I was going to break it down into a like simple task, I'd actually divide it into embracing the qualities of Leo for this journey towards authenticity beyond the masks,
Mhm.
and also understanding our moon sign. And I think that's when we did your reading, I know that was a big one that we talked about as well, because in the end,
Yeah.
your moon is the most important part of your chart. I argue one of the top 3 most important parts of your chart. And the reason for that is our moon is our core emotional need. It's what we crave at the end of the day, no matter what we accomplish, what we achieve, what purpose we have. But also, our moon is said to be our inner child. So it's the core
Mhm.
soft nature of us. An example, I mean, I'm an Aries sun, which many people find very obvious with how direct and bold I am. But internally, I'm a Cancer moon. Cancer's soft, Cancer wants to be nurtured. And so this is why I force myself to, when I record, sit down. I never stand when I record because it just makes me too rigid. And I try to work on sharing more of my soft and vulnerable sides, especially in my longer form videos. So I feel like understanding your moon is one big key piece that can help with authenticity because sometimes it's hard to know what the authentic self is. And that's where really astrology can be helpful in giving that subjective interpretation of the self, same as human design, to say, well,
Mhm.
if this is me, how does this help me?
Mhm. Yeah. And so with the Leo, so you're saying for people to like understand their own like unique visibility, you're saying to look at the Leo placement and your moon placement. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, so as far as like, so you're to I'll phrase it a little bit better because I know I'm a bit messy here. But with authenticity and visibility, yes, I would say one piece of it could really be if you're someone who's trying to show up on social media as the authentic version of yourself, if you're wanting to bring more of your personal self to your socials or to your business in general, maybe even in person, your moon is the most vulnerable part of you and therefore can have a lot of impact. So embracing the qualities of your moon sign in your chart could be a really big piece of that. And as far as the Leo qualities, because of what's going on in the stars currently with Leo, I think all of us are invited to, in general, just delve into the concept of qualities of radiance, passion, play, courage, and authenticity. Authenticity being the child does not think about whether it's being authentic or not. The child is just joyous, and therefore authenticity is the result. So the idea, I think, too, to answer your question, it's not necessarily that I would, for this specific context, encourage looking at Leo in your chart. But I think this particular transit is inviting us to look at what our relationship with joy and radiance is, how we express it, and how we can naturally allow that to let the authentic self come out. That's kind of the message and the philosophy behind this transit.
Okay. And that's the Jupiter in Leo transit
Mhm.
specifically.
Mhm.
Okay. Wonderful. Okay. I forgot we were talking about transits for a second, and then we went into the into the moon. Okay, so we have Jupiter in Leo right now then, and it's really about that passion, that play, that authenticity. So as I'm a Libra moon, so if I were to be like, okay, I am dedicating, committing to showing up on social media, what qualities would a Libra moon hold in creating content that feels authentic and aligned?
Great question. And I actually want to add in eventually one more piece to this because I'll start off with the bold statement that, funny enough, when it comes to our career, we're not all inherently meant to be our moon. We all can embrace our moon there, but there's actually a few other factors that are much more important when it comes to success, recognition, and purpose driven career paths that I would love to delve into. But
Perfect. Let's go there first, and then we can do like a round out in with my chart and like how that plays out.
yeah, for sure. So
Perfect.
I'll tie it into your moon as well because I can see for you in particular from our conversation that your Libra moon is a big part of this. And here's how I'd phrase it as well. Your moon is not only your emotional desire, and it's not only your inner child, it's the thing you craved most. And so, therefore, it's the gift you can give to the world. It's like, I'm sure we all have that little thing inside of us where we felt like, I didn't quite get it as a kid. And so now I want to make sure people have that. It's like the idea of we say, I don't want to become my parents. That is the idea behind our moon sign. It's inherently meant to be our wound. Our moon actually does tell us a lot about what our mother wound is as well.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, with that, I would imagine for you as a Libra moon, Libra is the archetype of collaboration and connection, someone who is very understanding. And so I would imagine for you with your closest friendships, people probably say like, you just get it. Like you always just get me is the kind of compliments a Libra moon would get. And so if you were to take that to social media and wanting to, I would say, how do you bring out the understanding part of yourself? Which would probably be more through sharing stories, sharing experience, saying like, I went through this. I would love to hear if you've been through this down in the comments below. And also, additionally, Libra is stereotypically the archetype of collaboration. So I would imagine for you specifically, the idea of sharing your collaborations on social media, almost like snippets of your podcasts, are actually very aligned for you because it shows your natural conversational style. And Libra doesn't like to be standalone. They want to show in partnership, so to say, when it comes to visibility.
Oh, I love that. That's so cute. It's true. No, I'm a triple Venus, so I do need collaboration. Maybe that's where the wound though comes from because there's parts of me where I'm like, I'm just going to do it by myself. I think it's maybe the Aries and Venus. I don't know. And then I'm like, I'm miserable. I hate this. And then I go and like collaborate with, other creatives, or like I'm, doing a workshop with Lexi Chang, who's another astrologer, tomorrow. And I'm like, this process has been so much more fun than if I would have done this by myself. And it's like, I like actually forget that that's so deeply a part of who I am until
Yeah.
I, get in there again. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I do need people.
Yeah, for sure. Well, from what I recall too, don't you have is it your South Node or North Node in Leo? You have something dominant in Leo.
Yes. South Node and Leo.
Mm. So maybe here's where the challenge comes in is, well, for one, our moon, because it's vulnerable, sometimes it feels scared of being seen. And this is why bringing it to the realm of social media can be empowering. But maybe part of that for you comes from inherently embracing the fact that you want to collaborate has a risk to the child mind of you, because there's
Yeah.
an early life association with collaboration, connection, partnership.
Mhm.
Stereotypically, Libra moons struggle to believe they deserve connection for the authentic self. They feel like they have to morph or shift. And so maybe that could be part of the story as well.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about the collaboration is that I'm a twin. So
Mm.
I'm like, I've spent my entire life in relationship, right? To
Oh.
another human being. We shared a womb together. But also my moon's in my first house of my own identity.
Mm. Mm.
So I feel like that plays a role too. And like if I feel like I actually don't mind showing up and being visible now, but previously to my name change, I was like, nope, I'm gonna be behind the scenes doing the work, hiding. I believe in everyone else to like be visible in the world, but I don't trust myself yet to be visible. And maybe because my moon is in my first house.
Yeah, it could definitely be a big part of it. I mean, one thing, so there's so many, opening the can of astrology can really feel like a can of worms. Uh,
Yes.
but I would add to that as well that when we're talking about fears of rejection or rejecting parts of ourselves, we also see that there's specifically our Black Moon Lilith and our Chiron play a big role on that. That if I were to start again, I'm sure I would see that. But
Mhm.
yes, you were right on that point as well, that having your moon in the first house does often make us feel more comfortable being standalone. It also,
Okay.
to give you a layer further on that, the first
Okay.
house is the house of identity. And so sometimes it feels more comfortable to stay in just the facade of identity rather than
Mm.
connection. Additional, so yeah,
Connection with self
also
or connection with other people?
connection with a little bit of both. Mainly what I would say is with a Libra in general, the core struggle we see with Libra energy as the archetype of collaboration is the need for approval. And so
Mm.
when your moon's in the first house, maybe it feels like I don't want to experiment with identity. I need this to be more rigid, because what if I venture out of what I think my identity is or what
Mhm.
others see my identity as, and that leads to rejection? It can feel like it's safer to play small, or it's safer to stay the same.
Mm. Yeah. And I would say, I mean, I literally changed my name and my entire identity last year. So I'm like, what the fuck was happening in the stars then? Because apparently it was like, but what I will say about that is like, obviously it was like a spiritual experience for me. And like the name Sasha came online and through a conversation and being in community with other women. And so moving into it's almost as if like I completely changed who I was from Lindsay to Sasha. Like it's like I had to remove the facade or the Lindsay persona in order to step into the Sasha. And now that's who I'm like operating as. But it's like I almost needed that full identity, like actually changing my name for me to fully step in and take up the space. Right. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just sharing that because I was like, I don't know if I would be operating or having this podcast or showing up on social media if I wouldn't have taken that leap to completely like reevaluate my own identity in that. And of course, there's so much grieving too of like, obviously your past self doesn't just get deleted, right? But that's what I wanted to do. Right. And
Um,
so I spent like the last year just like, how do we Lindsay and Sasha become like friends again, right? Because Lindsay is that inner child, that inner play, and Sasha feels more of like that like sage, that wise, right? Guide. And it's like, oh, well, when you actually combine them together, it's even more powerful than they are, siloed, which is
Mm-hmm.
what I was trying to do at the beginning of like last year. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Well, it's also interesting what you say about these split personalities because here's, I think, the challenge when it comes to authenticity in the realm of career. Uh, if we're looking at an astrological perspective, we are not one solid identity, which I'm sure you would side with, but we are quite literally a fragmented, multifaceted being. If we look at a chart, we can see how it looks. It just looks like things scattered all over the place in different ends of the spectrum. And that kind of represents our personality. A big challenge
Mhm.
of career and even moving through life is how do I meet each of these needs and where do those pieces of identity get to be seen?
Yeah. And that's something that I think, well, we're both six lines too. So we actually have to really experiment with life, integrate, and then embody our lived experiences for us to know. Like we can't mind our way through the next thing. Like we actually have to go and experience it and take action for us to even truly know if it's meant for us,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah.
So I'm curious, how has you understanding your own natal chart supported you in becoming so visible? Like, what
Yeah.
have you used in your natal chart to be like, okay, I'm going to do it this way because I have Aries in my sun and I have Leo in whatever house and, the moon in this one.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So this actually comes back to I'm a really great master of not finishing my points, and I blame that on having a Mars in Gemini and I'm Aries having Mercury, just all focused on the next new thing. But you did ask about like I did mention one other piece of the chart that's really important
Oh,
alongside it.
yes.
So this will tie in. Uh, so uh, and funny enough, in my experience of astrology, I would say astrology in my journey of discovering it, it helped me understand my personal life, personal self better. And that's what drew me to astrology in the first place was
Mhm.
I felt like I don't know who I am. This idea of like the self doesn't quite make sense. So it gave me
Mhm.
some segregation and I something to label myself to start with, to start figuring out who I was.
Mhm.
But then when it came to starting working, starting doing readings, got really good at seeing everyone else's problem, but still understanding my own was a challenge. I mean, building my business, I've been doing this,
Classic.
yeah. And maybe that's on the projector being the guide a little
It
bit
is.
too.
Yep. It's definitely the projector.
Yeah.
I have such a hard time like working on my business, such an easy time on other people's.
Yeah. So with that, I mean, I've been in a professional astrologer to some degree since 2020. But I haven't been able to really make this a full-time business since last December. And that's
Wow.
because of my lack of ability to see my own chart. But now that I've become more successful, I can see the integration. And I think this is something I wish I understood sooner. And this is why I give it to people as a framework now for when they want to understand their business imprint. So when it comes to our chart, for the most part, we have really, for starters, two major dominant placements that tell us the work we should do. And then a few others, of course, that I will add on. But for starters, the most important above all that I've seen is our midheaven. Our midheaven is also known as our MC line, and it's always at the top of our chart with a little arrow. And it's based off of our time of birth. And to basically describe it, it's meant to be the traits and qualities that we will gain recognition for embracing.
Mm.
Funny enough, with the midheaven is always going to be roughly at a 90-degree angle to your rising sign. And what that represents is the way people naturally see you is how they see you as a stranger to keep you feeling like we're good. We're on the same level. I don't need to treat you like an authority. But the midheaven's what we become when we are an authority. So sometimes what our natural persona is isn't the traits and qualities that people are going to recognize us for. And that can be
Whoa.
a really hard piece to first embrace when you're in your business. And I know for me, as a Sagittarius rising, I would much rather seem like the philosophical one, the one with big ideas, big visions, and so wise, rather than my midheaven is in Virgo. And I kid you not, the number one thing I've heard people give me credit for in my work is you make this practical. You make it simple, which is qualities of Virgo.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at your chart from a human design perspective too, and it's like you're the cross of upheaval. Like you're literally here to like bring a new perspective to the world, which it sounds like it's very Sagittarian then. And you also are an energetic projector. You have a defined ego and an emotional center. Like you have a lot of energy for a projector. Just saying.
Mm, I don't know that about my chart, but I've always thought that was
Mhm.
interesting because sometimes, though I'm very much a projector who needs rest and like relaxation, which I know is my moon sign,
Mhm.
I also
Mhm.
know that I am like need to work hard every day, almost like a generator.
I'm like, what is that even like? I love it. Well, because, okay, you are 22, right?
Yes,
23?
yes.
22. And like, I kid you not, like, please, please go get a reading with her because it was one of the best astrological readings I've ever had. A. B, the amount of wisdom you have is for your age is like actually insane. I'm like, what have you lived to be able to hold and understand someone so deeply? And like, not like you understand the human as like as much as you understand the astrology. Like, you can tap into a stranger and have so much wisdom to share with them. It's like mind boggling to me. So, highly recommend getting a reading with you. But like, that sixth line is so true and present, like yeah, in your energy. So
Wow.
I was like shocked. I was like, wait, how old are you? And you know this about life? Like you're like, oh, I wish I would have known this sooner. I'm like, you're 22. Like, what is happening here?
I mean, it's been a journey for sure. I mean, I think part of that has to do with I was raised very unconventionally. I don't know if we talked about this last time,
No, tell me everything. Well, as much
but
as you want to share, of course.
tell me everything at gunpoint. Okay, Leo South Node. But growing up, so I was first of all raised homeschooled, and kind of the rule my mom gave me from a very early age was, I don't care what you learn, just learn something. So dedicate yourself, learn something, go into something, which was probably the best thing I could have been raised with. I was not,
Literally.
and probably for a
Wait,
lot of us that'd be the case.
seriously.
And
Gosh.
with that, additionally, though I wasn't like the math type and all of that, I ended up diving into psychology very easily. Funny enough, through having a phone, which, lots of people say those kids and those darn phones, but that enabled me to discover through social media someone talking about the Myers-Briggs and the Enneagram and these things. And that sparked my interest. So I was naturally very drawn to psychology from a young age. And additionally, with that, my mom at the time of like around 10 years old, she had just gone to yoga teacher training. So she was taking me to yoga every day. So the idea of like meditation, spirituality was already a big part of my life.
Oh my God. What a
And
dream life, honestly. I'm like, put me back in that childhood. That sounds awesome.
it
But keep.
gets better to sound egotistical. But at 10 years old, my mom decided to, with my dad, sell our house, sell everything we own, and to move into an RV to full-time travel. And I've done that for the last decade until I moved to Bend.
Oh my God. Wait, travel like the States or like the world?
Both. So we traveled in our RV full-time through the States, but we had pretty much every year until 2020 would fly abroad either to New Zealand or Bali or Europe for traveling just for the sake of living.
Oh my God. Wait, that's incredible. So, well, you guys are really tight knit still too, right? You
Hmm.
and your family?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. But that's like, so I'm assuming you have taken or you have done all of their charts as well.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
How many lifetimes have you had with them? Do you know?
That is a good question. To be honest, I don't end up focusing a ton on house life astrology with my
Okay.
approach, but I would be curious to know the answer to that.
Yeah. Me too. I'm like, well. Okay, so to bring it back to like the framework of visibility,
Mhm.
I think, did you call out the 2 placements you wanted us to look at
Yes,
additionally?
we start with one. So we'll get there.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
So, like, simple key takeaway is your midheaven is what's going to make you successful. It's the qualities to put on display and how to frame the work you're doing. So, I would imagine, and I don't know if you know your chart off the top of your head, but
I do.
you're most likely what would that be? A Cancer midheaven?
Yeah. Correct. Yes.
And so part of that is because you're a Libra rising, most likely you're going to have a Cancer
Oh, the
midheaven.
90. Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for example, with a Cancer midheaven, people are going to tell you, though they'll see your Leo South Node and how playful you are with all your colorful background, and they'll see how able you are to connect. What people are going to highlight the most and what makes you an authority in your realm is she she's just so emotionally honest. She's so emotionally supportive. And Cancer as a midheaven actually has 2 very beautiful options of a quality. Cancer is both the caretaker, but also just the emotional expressor. So some Cancer midheavens more have a success from saying, here's my story, and others from being more of like the nurturer, the nurse, the supporter, the mom friend in the corner.
Mm-hmm. I resonate with the other side, not the caretaking side, but the more emotional storytelling. And because I've lived a life, I've lived a lot of life.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
only 36 and I'm like, oh my God.
But hey, I
But
mean, you got that 6 in you, so.
yeah, that is true. Every time I read the Cancer midheaven though, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to be like soft. Like I feel like it's like soft and like nurturing, and I'm like, I don't want to be that.
Oh.
But like when you're in relationship to me, there's something around this like idea of like play mixed within this like nurturing that doesn't make sense to me.
Mhm. Basically,
You
you
know?
say like how they blend.
Yeah. Yes.
No,
Yes.
for sure. And that's definitely understandable. And this is where I feel like, in the end, everyone's chart has a different way of expressing itself, though we have objective traits. And this is why there's a benefit to getting personal readings because,
Mhm.
like, especially for me, with the amount of readings I've done and just the intuition I've built, I can see how it's going to play out for people. And so for you, I mean, looking at your business and your chart, your business is meant to be the archetype of the child. And why I would say that is with your South Node in Leo, there is that playfulness, the loud toddler, but also Cancer is like the archetype of a baby. Or like a think of those quieter children who like just stay clinged on to their mother's side.
Uh-huh.
Cancer just is also a child. It's the mother-child relationship as well. So for you, I'd imagine it's not that you have to be nurturing like a mother, let me take care of you. It's how do I express the emotions, my emotions freely through the work I do. Like
Uh-huh.
people want emotional authenticity from you more than anything, is what
Yeah.
your midheaven kind of implies.
Okay. And I was gonna say, like, even nurturing the essence of play.
Mhm.
I've had a yeah, people have always said you just naturally hold play within your like in your being. And I was like, very true. Like my first business was called Play and Public, and it was just really fun, like bright shapes and like playful, designs. And this was in the time where everyone's like, let's go minimal in beige. And I'm like,
Mhm.
no, I can't. My brain like literally glitches. I'm like, I can't do it. And like, there's a time and place. Do not get me wrong, but I really stood out because my stuff was so different in that when I was in that era. And then I like changed my business to Designed to Be Human. Literally, all I care about is like getting people more fully expressed in the world. And I do use the tool of human design, personal branding, and then content creation. And I'm just like, I don't know, like that the content creation piece is now the play versus like the branding used to be, like more of the brand identity stuff used to be the play. So it's interesting how that you just showed that, because I'm like, I need more play in my life. Like play is my medicine, it feels like, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it's also the value I do want to add that you offer. So to kind of give contrast into this, because I'd rather talk really deeply about one aspect rather than go into hundred thousands, though that's my tendency. Um, though that's my tendency. Your midheaven really is the number one point that can bring success in your business for any person. And then we can go further into other aspects, but there's 12 different signs our midheaven can be. And to simplify that, there is 4 elements that they can be in. So there's fire, earth, air, water. Those who have their midheaven in a water sign, your gift is validation to bring to the world. And
Oh,
the way I think of
what?
it is, so think of it this way. Those who have their midheaven, I think the best way to describe is Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, such as myself.
That's you. Okay.
Um, these are earth signs. Earth signs fix physical things. So when I meet people who have their midheaven in any of these 3 signs, these are people whose the gift is they're fixing something physical. So that's why people come to me specifically like, hey, fix this problem of mine. That's what the highest value is. But for you, that's not necessarily the case. And it's not because you can't fix problems. It's not that you don't have wisdom, but your gift is you make people feel validated and liberated. It's an emotional result. It's like people follow you because they feel inspired. It's how they feel. You don't have to necessarily fix something. And I think that can be one of the biggest permissions we can give ourselves in the realm of business, because it often sounds cookie cutter. What's your funnel? What's your offer? What problem are you solving? But not all of us are meant to be that way, especially for like a water midheaven, such as yourself. Your gift is people are going to follow you for your inspiration. It makes you a bit more of like the influencer type where the value is you. Similar to being a fire.
Did you hear that? Just kidding.
So understanding that midheaven does dictate that. What is the thing that brings the value?
Right. You know what's funny? So I have the 6124, which is the channel of inspiration literally in my human design. So I inherently inspire a new way of being in the world. I'm here to unknow the unknowable, right? And in doing that, I'm able to bring this like new insight, new perspective that people are like, oh, I've never really thought of it that way, right? And then I've always said, if I was not a designer, I would be a therapist. Because, right, it's like about, I love going to the depths of people and like the emotional, like understanding the emotions of how people think and the way people tick. I find so fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's also partly as well your moon in Libra, because you're deeply fascinated by understanding. But and like if I was like your coach and having another session, the way I would apply your midheaven is how can you be someone's therapist through just sharing your story and example. You don't have to sit down with them and say like, let's fix your problem. You're just saying, let me just give advice to the entire world through a bigger lens, and that be the therapy that someone needs. I mean, we've all, I'm sure, have like a song we would consider our therapy, or like a movie that's like our therapy. And
I
that's
love
kind of the
that.
energy for you.
Yeah. And that would be similar for you too as a 6th line, right? It's like we have to share our lived experiences. Like our souls chose these experiences so we can share them with the world. Right.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that perspective. Yeah. So we did earth, water, and then if you have a midheaven in fire or air, how do those translate differently?
Yeah. So I'll summarize them all 4 back to back for contrast. But if your midheaven's earth, your recognition will come through the problems that you solve or the physical thing that you create. So something tangible. If it's in a fire sign, your recognition will come from your passion and your desire. So the things that light you uniquely up. And I'll give examples after. The midheaven and air signs, your success and recognition comes through your intellect. People see you for your intelligence or how much you know. And if your midheaven's in a water sign, it's your ability to be emotionally honest and nurture. or support, basically, which doesn't mean like, let me listen to your emotions always. It's let me share and bring out the emotions in you. It's
Mhm.
the emotions of your being, really. It's the
Mhm.
inspiration.
Mhm.
So with that, like kind of examples of often career paths that these people take is Earth midheaven is oftentimes more of like our real estate agents, our bookkeepers of the world, but also entrepreneurs who create physical products, which is why I'm
Mhm.
working on building courses, top secret. Um,
Oh, yay! That's so exciting.
yeah, it is. And it's taken me this long to think of it. And
You're only 22.
but being in this business for 6 years, yes, fair. So then,
I will buy that. I will buy that.
so earth signs make something physical. Uh, Fire signs, these are like the athletes and the actors of the world, I would call it. They're seen for their passion. They're seen for the thing they love. I really feel like athletes are the best example of this, but also in the terms of entrepreneur, uh, these are people who are likely, again, similar to water signs, more influencer types. People want to see them doing the thing they love. And that could also maybe be more of an artist as well.
Mhm.
Uh, Midheaven in an air sign, these are oftentimes, I would say, honestly, like the CEOs or the innovators of the world, people dealing with tech or building, changing systems, advocates of some way. But in the realm of entrepreneurship, it's share your knowledge, share your data, like write a book, teach on podcasts, be a public speaker, share your information as much as possible.
Mhm. Oh, I
And
love that.
then those who are water signs, share your experience. Share how it felt for you. Let people see into your emotional world. Like, record your lowest lows, record your highest highs. Put that on social media. So it's similar to fire, but instead of being about what you love, it's saying, like, this is the raw and real me. And this isn't seen enough.
Mhm. I love that. I love that so much, actually. So we have the midheaven. We look at the moon.
Yeah. So then the third one I would say that is most important, and I would really rank these as the top two, is it's a bit more superficial, but your Mars. Because your Mars is how you're meant to do the work you do. Mars is the planet of action. So whatever sign your Mars is in, it's how you're naturally going to execute tasks. And this explains my entire childhood because I seemed like the most of the time, scattered, unfocused kid. Like my mom has a time lapse of me trying to read a history book and laying my head down every 10 seconds because I can't focus.
Oh my God.
And then simultaneously, to give that contrast, my mom also tells a story of when I was a kid, I was like 3 years old, and I would just sit there for hours putting beads onto a thread. And first of all, had the dexterity to do so at 3 years old. And second of all, just was fascinated by it. And that all comes back to me being a Mars and Gemini. Gemini is the archetype of versatility, adaptability, stimulation, and they crave learning and creativity. Gemini is Mars and Gemini means you're naturally scatterbrained. And I mean, to be controversial, I have a theory that anyone who I meet who has Gemini energy is labeled ADHD. So
Really?
almost like if you have Gemini energy, I will know before I even do a call with you, like, so what's life like being ADHD? And the like, how did you know? And it's just Gemini energy. Gemini takes in so much so fast that they have to be on the move.
Okay.
Just setting up a business in that way, given that my midheaven's in Virgo and that my gift is to apparently simplify and fix, combining it with my natural action style, I need to be highly creative on a day-to-day
Mm.
basis, but create content that is focused on problem solving or simplification, which is why I pretty much sit down and every day and record TikToks all day or work with clients.
That's so fun, though.
It is. It
Well, you
is.
need the variety of things. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why I never
Okay.
let go of my side jobs too.
Oh, yeah. Because you also do line dancing
Mhm.
and personal training.
I do No personal training. My dad does that actually, though. That's
Okay.
where you're getting that from. I run a dance program. I teach country swing and line dancing, and I'm a social media manager.
Okay, and you're a social media manager.
Hmm.
Oh my God. So also fun fact, I had met Isabel's sister at a Dish With Women in Business networking event before I met Isabel. I was like, what is, I'm telling you, the literal skies aligned. We were meant to meet. Okay. So, so you did Moon, Midheaven, and Mars. So my moon is in Libra, Midheaven in Cancer, and then Mars is in Pisces.
Oh, I lost you right as you said what sign you said it was in.
Oh. Mars is in Pisces.
Okay. So I'll frame it the same way and then I'll give an example for you. So
Okay.
again, given the qualities of each element, they give us a starting point. If your Mars is in, let's see, what sign do I want to start with? If your Mars is in an air sign, you're going to want to do work that is mentally stimulating. So it's either educational work that they should be doing, such as research, analysis,
Oh
or
God, never.
or they should be doing social versions of work, like collaboration, connection. But it makes sense
Okay.
that you say that as a Mars and Pisces was very different. But you say that also as you're recording podcasts, so that is the social aspect.
That is true. That is true.
So Mars and air signs, the the way you want to do things is social or learning. So either communicate, learn something, analyze something, or conversate. So these are the people you want in more of like sales roles, networking roles, or like I said, analyst roles.
Mhm.
Uh, Mars in a water sign cracks me up because when we have water, which is the archetype of emotion, the element of emotion, as our action style, it's if I don't feel like doing it, I just don't want to do it. Why would I do it if I don't feel like it?
You know what I say? I say if it's not fun, I'm not fucking doing it.
And that is truly the nature of a Mars and water sign. So
That's
I always
awesome.
say those who have a Mars and water sign, it's the most important thing for them to create their own schedule, more so than the other signs or the other elements. Mars on the Earth sign, as we'll get into, they need consistency in schedule. But Mars and water sign, these are the people who some days wake up and like, you know what? I just can't get myself to work today, so I'm just gonna go out for the day, get some coffee, and I'm gonna get 110% tomorrow. And that's naturally how you're designed to work.
Mhm.
So we'll come back to your
That
Mars and Venus
resonates.
specifically too. But Mars in a fire sign is challenge in intensity. So if your Mars is in Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, it needs to feel like it lights you up. First of
Mhm.
all, these people are, if I'm not passionate about it, why wouldn't I do it? Which is, you'll feel some commonalities with because you have such a strong Leo placement.
Mhm.
But for you, it's also your emotional waters dictate more of how much you feel you can give every day. Whereas a fire sign, as long as they're passionate, they will go. And they're very similar, I would say, to generators where they have to give like 110% every day. They need to
Wow.
fully drain their tank.
I'm like,
So
what's that? I can't relate. Can't
like, that sounds no,
relate.
because you're a projector, right? Is that
Yeah, I'm a projector. Yeah, and Mars and Pisces.
yeah, yeah. And Mars in Pisces is really a beautiful placement to have as a projector. It's less of that contradiction, and I think you put it
Mhm.
in terms of for me, you said I have a lot of energy in my chart. And I
Mhm.
would really label that as being a Mars in Gemini as a
Mhm.
projector because I'm
Yeah.
hyperactive yet need to rest.
Yeah. Yep.
But
Exactly. Yeah, you have two motors. It's just not the sacral
mhm. So
defined.
for you as a Mars in Pisces specifically, and we'll get to Mars and Earth, uh, it's Pisces is all about the nonlinear. They want to do what feels like bliss and harmony. So the work you're meant to do should be highly intuitive and empathic, which
Mhm.
means that you're like a projector tapping into what's the message I need to share? How do I let my intuition flow as I'm doing things? So having a lack of boundaries on how you do your work or what kind of work you do, whether it's social media posts or like a TikTok or a carousel or a podcast one day, having free range on where or how you create is really needed for you. And it needs to feel
It's,
like you have harmony in your space while you do it. If
oh
there's
my
noise
gosh.
or clutter, it's like, heck no.
Mm-mm. Yeah, no, like I've really have tried to have a content planner. No, I cannot. And then I just moved into a house with my boyfriend,
Mhm.
and he's like, literally every time I walk in, something has been slightly moved. And I'm like, yeah, it like literally it could just be like one little twist of like a candle. I'm like, okay, perfect. And now we can be done. But as far as the intuition goes, so as far as creating, I think that's why I love branding so much. I always say, everyone's like, well, what's your branding process? I was like, oh, it's just really intuitive. Like I feel into you and I can see your essence and your soul. And then I just create a brand world for you. And they're like, that's not, it's not how it's done. I was like, it's how I do it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's beautiful to hear too. Like one of the biggest qualities I think of with Pisces energy is inspiration. So
Mm,
when you tap into someone else, it's that you're sharing your inspiration and you can bring inspiration to people. So
mhm.
again, the idea of like inspired action, yeah, really important for you. And the fact that your Mars and your midheaven are both in water signs creates a bit more harmony there because you really are meant to just feel your way forward in your career, which not all of us can say.
I feel like that's like not the status quo for like how anyone operates in this world.
Yeah.
Be hard, be rich, just go do the thing. Blah, 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 blah. Formula of success. And you're like, I just want to feel my way through it.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, definitely the world is much more rewarding of earth energy. We have a modern day obsession, I call it, with Virgo energy, which we can get
Oh my
into if
God.
you want in. But like to follow that up and finish out the Mars energies, a Mars and Earth sign needs to do things with stability and consistency. And they need to
Mm,
once again work on something physical. Like, don't ask a Mars in Taurus or a Mars in Virgo or Mars in Capricorn to come up with a hypothesis of a plan or to come up with a strategy built off of nothing. They're meant to be executors. And so
mm,
a Mars in an Earth sign actually would struggle most, I would say, with entrepreneurship because it's such non-clear direction. There's 100,000 things you're supposed to do all at once. Mars and Earth signs want to just do one task very well.
oh, that feels like a generator then. Well, if based off of that description, it sounds like a generator. 'Cause they're
Mhm,
really here just to master the thing that they're really lit up by. Right. So
mhm,
I'm wondering, and 70% of the world are generators and manifesting generators. So I'd be curious how that translates to the
mhm.
astrology too.
Yeah, honestly, I've thought the same thing and I want to look into it as well, but I haven't because same thing goes like in general, fire and earth is more generator quality, and then
Mhm.
water and air is more of a well, water especially mutable quality is a projector quality. And
Mhm.
there's also the modalities that I just did a series on my social media and relating it to each of the human design types, and it really is some strong parallels.
Wait, I must see this. Did you say you posted this already?
And it was
Oh
only
my
great.
God.
It's about there's the three modalities of astrology, which are more complex to get into. But
Okay.
basically, one is cardinal, and it's very much generator energy.
Okay. Yes.
Or maybe I wasn't thinking of generator, I'm thinking of one other. But mutable is very much projector energy, and fixed is generator. And I think cardinal, I was having trouble. Oh, duh. Cardinal is like manifestor energy. They're
Okay.
initiators.
The initiators.
Mhm.
Okay.
So it
That
was
makes
very interesting
sense.
to see, but I would definitely want to know more about that.
Yeah, me too. Do you have like 5 more minutes to go over the nodal
Uh-huh.
shifts and then we'll wrap it up?
Yeah, yeah,
Does that
for
feel good?
yeah.
Okay. 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 Okay, hold on. Okay. Well, I love that breakdown. I really love just how you are able to break down that information so practically, which I know you're like, God damn it. But
It's
you
for
hold a big
midheaven for a
vision.
reason.
Yeah, exactly. So the last thing I want to talk about that's like super massive, I've been seeing it all over social media, I get spammed by astrologers on social media, actually. I feel personally victimized by them. Is the nodal changes. The nodes are shifting into Leo and Aquarius. So can you just kind of tell us about the journey from where we've been to where it's going?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I'll say before that is, in the end, I say that there are three parts of the chart that are most important to know. One is the moon, as I said, and the other two are the lunar nodes. Whether that is where they're transiting or where they are in our chart, they tell us our life story and what phase of life we are in. So, again, on the note of career, I would also recommend looking into your South and North node because they are the wisdom you're meant to take to your work. But that's
Mm.
a topic for another time. In transit, the North and South node, wherever they are, these are the areas of life that you are focused upon and the qualities that you're focused upon. So, depending on your sign, there is a different area of life that is being affected by the lunar node shifting signs. And I have a whole series up that I just posted on my social media for people who want to look for their sun or rising sign.
Ooh, yay. Okay.
And then for us all collectively, the lunar nodes are one of the best transits to follow. And starting July 26th of 2026, which is what, 5 days from now,
5 days from now.
we will have the North Node in Aquarius and the South Node in Leo for the next 18 months. With any nodal cycle, it has been 18 years since it's been in that sign because it takes 18 years to go around the wheel. So those who have especially strong Aquarius or Leo placements feel this more strongly. But to put it into practical terms of what we're all going through is with the South Node in Leo for the next 18 months, the South Node tells us the traits and qualities we are questioning, reassessing, redefining, and possibly letting go of. And with the South Node in Leo, we are on a journey of letting go of what I would call the negative qualities of Leo. And I would see this in the modern day world as, I think the word is overindulgence or hedonism.
Mm.
Leo sometimes indulges, but say, for example, like staying out too late, drinking 5 too many beers. That's kind of the energy of Leo. And with the South Node here, we're looking at where are we seeking dopamine and it's not working? Where is it not actually bringing joy? So, a lot of us will be questioning over the next 18 months, all of us in a certain field of life, what we're doing to get a sense of joy and how it's not working. And that doesn't mean that we're letting go of joy. After all, Jupiter's still here, but we're rediscovering how to actually cultivate a sense of joy and play
Mm.
and authenticity. So the South Node in Leo asks us to let go of the overindulgent or center of attention or dopamine addicted qualities that are no longer working for us or serving us. And as we let go, we create space, which creates space for the North Node. Wherever the North Node transits, this is the traits and qualities we are called to cultivate in our life. So, with the North Node in Aquarius, we are called to all collectively, in some field of life or another, cultivate our sense of individuality, innovation, meaning, and purpose. As
Mm.
well as, I think a big theme with this is detachment. But overall, with this Leo Aquarius axis, it's like saying no to the phone and yes to the purpose. Saying no to the drinks out late and yes to the early morning to start on your purpose driven project. Saying no to the relationship that's just a situationship and that's fun, and yes to dedicating time to yourself to cultivate yourself. We're all called to cultivate our sense of purpose and also to specifically see that Aquarius is the archetype of purpose, but it's individual purpose. So Aquarius specifically says, I am irreplaceable and therefore I must have an importance in this life. I want to give that purpose. I want to have impact. So it's individuality at its finest. And so with the North Node here, we are all naturally being called to become more aware of what our individual self is and how we want to bring that to impact a certain field of life and create a sense of purpose in our life.
Mhm. That feels like a natural progression to what I've seen like trending as far as like social media, as far as personal branding. Like people are literally building it's like if you're online, you're building a personal brand at this point. It's not just like, oh, here's my cute dog and cat, whatever. It's like, no, what is the world you get to create that is so individually you?
Mhm.
And that feels very much true to where with the nodes changing.
Absolutely. It definitely is the call to do something bigger than yourself.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. I feel like there's something about that with like the community of the Leo aspect too, where it was like more community driven, or is it more like personally driven now,
Mm.
would you say?
How so do you mean?
Well, because Leo's all about community, right? Like being
Mm.
the life of the party and community, or no?
Possibly. Here's how I'd describe it. I think this is the best way to put it. For every opposing axis, there is a commonality because they're two sides of the same coin.
Okay.
So Leo and Aquarius are both part of a team, a group in some way, but Leo's the center of the attention and wants everyone else to fall beneath them. Spotlight, after all, is the idea here.
Uh-huh.
Versus Aquarius wants to just be a part of the team, a part of a bigger picture.
Okay.
In the way I like to say it is the Leo Aquarius axis has a lot to do with the film industry. It really is very symbolically tied to what we see in the film world. Leo's the actor, Aquarius is the director.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're kind of in the job
Ooh, I
actor
love that.
director.
Okay. Okay. Wait, I love that so much. And then for last question, for people who have their Leo in the South Node and then their Aquarius in the North Node, what does a nodal return mean for them?
Yeah. And to keep it simple, I will say it's a once in 18-year opportunity for you to up level. So with the lunar nodes transits, there is both a natural opportunity surfacing for you, regardless of your sign, and also an invitation. And that's the nature of all of astrology.
Uh-huh.
And with those who are having their lunar node return specifically, this is you maybe feeling like, I have no idea where my life is heading. I just know that there's something bigger. It's ground zero because you're in the next level of the game. If you've ever played like a video game, you unlock a new area or you enter a new level, you don't know what to expect because you've never been there before.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes that can leave us feeling ignorant, naive, but it's because we're stepping into a new level of being. So a North Node return is a time where you can expect the unexpected, expect major changes to come your way, major losses or gains. Anything that falls away is because it's no longer meant for you. You never lose what's meant for you. And it's also a time where you should, to some degree or another, bet on yourself. If you have a dormant dream, if you have a dormant desire, now's the time to lean into those things.
I love that. Well, thank you so much. We could have 10 more episodes. I think these are so fun.
Likewise.
I'm gonna add. What'd you say?
Likewise.
Like what? So the one I asked this to all my podcast guests before, and then I'll ask you about like how people can connect with you. What does someone need to know about you for them to really know you?
Very personal.
Mm-hmm.
What does someone need to know about me to fully know me? I mean, if I was talking to someone who I know, I think they would need to understand these systems I dominantly focus on astrology, but also the Enneagram, the Myers-Briggs, also known as the MBTI, gene keys, human design. These are all foundations personally of that made me who I am from 14 onward. And so if someone really wanted to know me, I think they would have to see and know the beauty of why these systems are so valuable. And that doesn't mean you have to value them fully themselves, but seeing why it's become my life obsession.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
that's what I take.
Well, it opens up a whole nother dialogue when you can understand the systems of people. I know everyone's like, I don't need to put it in a box. And it's like, that's not what this is, actually. But it's like a system that really like supports you and your self-awareness and your own up-leveling. I mean, honestly, when I found out I was a projector, my entire life completely changed. Like how I was showing up. I was like, oh my God, I've never felt so seen in my entire life. Right?
Yeah.
Did you have a similar feeling when you found out you were a projector?
I did, honestly. I mean, given that it was something I discovered later on, it wasn't as impactful as discovering my Enneagram and my astrology, but it was still nonetheless very impactful. And it still is something I think I'm learning to integrate now, especially because of the contradiction. It feels like sometimes with my chart of needing to work hard, oftentimes. Something that's a hard balance. But yes, the idea of being seen, especially like how to love a projector, anything I see on how to love a projector, it's like hits my core for sure.
I love it. Yeah. Well, and with your signature too, with the defined ego and defined solar plexus, with an undefined sacral, it's like you are prone to burnout. So just being very, cautious, as I'm sure you are, with your energy and your output for sure. So, Isabelle, you're wonderful. How can people connect with you, work with you in the world?
Yeah, so a few simple ways. Either you can find everything, all my content, all my socials, all of my workbooks and readings at isabellerobledo.com, and Isabelle Robledo. I don't know if I need to spell it all out, but my website has everything. Or you can find me on pretty much all socials, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the spiritual rebel _. That's my brand name. So you can find me there. And if you want to just talk more, I always recommend readings above all else, which you can find on all of my socials and on my website as well.
Highly 10/10 recommend, 20/10 recommend a reading with Isabelle. It's like very different than any of the other readings I've ever had. And it's because you blend coaching aspects of it too. So it's very practical in how you share, which I love. Well, thank you so much for being on. Yeah, of course. Thanks so much for being on the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me, Sasha. I've been looking forward to this for so long.
I know. I was like, can we get you in earlier? Should we make this a monthly thing?
Hey, don't tell me twice.
Yeah, right. Okay, we'll talk soon.
All right, take care.